Everybody who lives in Greenland know about the ice, how ice is made. Ice, especially Greenlandic inland ice, is made by snow. Snowflake over snowflake like this, but between snowflakes there is microscopic air bubble being captured and pressed down. That's this air give the ice color like blue. Icebergs are supposed to be a white because it's made by snow, but it's not white. It's almost blue because of the air inside of the ice. And sometimes we can see blue lines on the icebergs. It's made in the summertime when the air is warm, then snow and ice melt and create freshwater. All this freshwater running down on the cracks on the inland ice and freeze again on the cracks. And when the ice calving and this blue line separate from this white ice in the water, we call it for black ice because it seems to be a black in the water. I can collect some ice from the water, pick some ice cubes, and then I can show the air bubbles from the ice and how it sound, because it makes sound, this air bubble, when it releases from the ice. This one, that's what I'm talking about before, transparent ice. There is no air bubbles inside, like you can see, it's transparent. Compare this one, lot of air, compressed air. Then you can hear, when I do this, it's explode. Very easily. It's cracked. Compare this one, nothing happened. Then you can see air bubbles inside, like this, like tiny lines. And believe me, it's cold on my hands. I just have to move from this because we are too close to the icebergs. And icebergs is not huge, but underneath it's very large, and we are too close. If the ice begin to tip over, then it can be dangerous. Just depend the distance to the ice. The ice is very compact and hard. But anyway, if you hit the ice right, ice explode because air inside being released and the ice explode inside, like not an implosion. And if I hit the ice right with the front of the boat, then ice will explode. But if I hit the ice by the side of the boat, I make damage on the boat. 12-15 years ago, first time ever, in winter times there was a North Sea ice because of the water was warmer than usual. Then for each year we noticed the iceberg getting smaller and smaller and lower and lower. Now the average height of the icebergs is max 40 meter high. compared for 12, 15 years ago. 120 meter high icebergs. And now, because of the gletscher inside of the Ilulissat ice fjord has been retreated approx 20 kilometer. Now it's calving over the land and produce smaller icebergs for each year. Before the global warming around here, in winter times, it normally in the beginning of December, sea ice covered all this area. So normally it's closed by sea ice, and when there is sea ice, we walk on it, or dog sledding, and hunting from the sea ice, fishing, or whatever. But in 1980s, I remember we drive on the sea ice because sea ice was thick. But now sea ice is not thick enough to dog sled. Last year there has been sea ice around here in 2 days, and that's it. And now, this year, we have sea ice in 4 or 5 weeks, and just have depend the wind. When the wind press from the west, sea ice been pushed in against the land. And sea ice has been thick enough we cannot sail through the ice. But it has been too dangerous to dog sled on the sea ice. What I know about the ice and my knowledge, I have not transferred to my kids. I have no possibility to transfer it because they changed so fast. And it was very difficult to try to explain the kids about global warming. We just know and have noticed there has been change. Warmer air, warmer water, iceberg getting smaller, a lot of ice cubes, no icebergs. Has been very difficult to explain, for example, my kids, why it happened. The Greenlandic people and the Greenlandic society is very good to adapt for each decade. Whatever it happened, weather changed, has been very good to adapt the differences of weather. We have no choice. We have to. Then we try to live one day at a time, because it's very difficult to plan ahead, especially in winter times, and the ice decide for us, and weather decide for us. So we have to adapt and be patient. And in 1960s and 70s, there's scientists who say, "Stop! What are you doing for today? Because in 30 or 40 years from now, there will be a global effect